All right, everybody, we are live and have audio. Yay.
Woo.
Whoa.
How's everybody this Sunday?
Well and full of curry now.
Curry.
I would like
Having a good time.
I would like curry as well. I had Brookshire's pizza with my child.
Yep.
They make a Sicilian pizza that has like
Fun.
giant slices of ham on it, and it's pretty good.
That
But-
sounds good.
But curry sounds amazing right now.
Well,
I've spoiled myself this summer so far. Like we've been bad. Em and I have been very bad. We've eaten out a good bit, especially since my bonus check came in. But in our defense, food good.
Yes, food is good.
So
very good.
so we've eaten some very good meals recently. Now we have to go back to the ramen days.
I can't eat ramen.
That's true. So we are back with a bonus roundtable this week, and we're if you look at the title that's on Twitch, it's Inspos. We're going back and delving back into a topic we've touched on a year or probably 3 years ago at this point about things that inspire us. Now, I gotta set some caveats before we really get too far in with this, and that's going to be mention one. Like when we talk about don't go on like a massive trail of like 8 books, which we would all like to do or different things. Like the main inspiration for why you do certain things or why you make certain things. So we're going to keep it kind of narrowed down. There's also going to be some silly questions mixed in here just to give you all a heads up, because that's going to be one of the things that kind of helps us in this just a little bit. And there's Comcast being a shit. Yep.
I'm back. I think I'm alive.
You're here. Yeah, we lost you for a second. Internet was weird.
Chillin'.
Internet was weird. So
Okay, now we are still live on Twitch.
yeah,
Everything's
I've got it up. I've got the stream monitor. Anytime I'm running a game or we're doing this, guys, I have the stream manager up as well as OBS up. So that I need to get to a point that I stop saying when stuff screws up, because I say it out of frustration. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this. So the very first question I'm going to ask, and we will start with Frey and work our way down, and I'll be the last. I'll be the last one. Is when you create a character, do you come up with a concept first, or do you go more with a theme?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Fireworks.
My neighbors just let off fireworks. Scared the absolute crap out of me.
I gotta go clean the floor.
Shut up. I'm so tired of you making that stupid joke. When you say
but they're
theme,
dad jokes.
like what do you mean by theme?
Okay. I guess an example was, do you try to recreate like Arwen, or do you go, I want to make something along this general idea, like a theme for a character? Like a concept, and then you got to make that their whole,
So like fire
their whole
theme or
thingy.
flower theme.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
I think I do both, but I think I tend to go more towards theme rather than recreating another character as a different version. I mean, I've done it. If it calls for it, especially like we're playing Glitter Hearts or something. You know, that's pretty much all taking inspo from Magic Girls and such. But I tend to go more towards theme, I guess. Like I have, like Kaylin, the Fire Genasi monk that I made a few years ago for our shop game. She's a Fire Genasi, and I basically sent her fire, and she was kind of supposed to be like a Dragon Ball Z joke too, because she's the kind that can shoot.
You cut out.
I
You cut out for a
go
second.
the button. I know. You always start saying it before I can say I hit let go of the button. But like I said, she was supposed to be kind of a Dragon Ball Z joke because she had blast out of my hands thing was around the hand pew pews.
You're breaking up real bad. We got like every other word on my end.
Well, then go to somebody else because it's our internet.
Spence.
All right, then that I am kind of the same way. Whenever I create characters, I try to go for just like a overall theme or else a motif to go with them. For example, that that the paladin that I am playing up in that the shop game that is just ran by our Nasa Does Cosplay here, that she is basically her biggest theme is to put it the most nicest way possible without stepping on anyone's toes, is that basically what if that you was born out the gate as the black sheep of a family, and what would you do to basically make a name for yourself pretty much. And and then just for me, whenever that I create characters, I try to want to make on my own by going on like a certain theme or something. I know for that, that the stream version of just Tears of Kairos, I know that Zaya was just supposed to be just like a blank slate of a joke in a sense because of her name. It's just like literally like an item from basically that the MOBA League of Legends, which is basically a golden hourglass that makes your character invulnerable for 6 seconds and stuff. So she was, by all intents and purposes, meant to be a joke character, but she has ended up becoming one of my most favorite characters I have ever played.
I tend to generally I tend to go concept first, unless as I'm building a character, a theme presents itself. That's actually what happened with one of my characters that I'm playing on alternate Wednesdays at our local game shop. Juniper Rose is a Fey-touched, Fearbolg, wild magic barbarian who ended up as one of the palace guard and is currently the traveling bodyguard slash etiquette trainer for a fairy princess. Literally, another player in the group built a fairy princess. And so I've built a cute fuzzy purple lady. And that is her whole entire shtick, is everything I can do to her to give her more Feywild or just wild magic themed stuff. That's her entire thing, is just pure flowery chaos. With a, little bit of shadow side, because, no Fey is all pure. But generally I go concept first. Most of my characters come from a single personality trait or idea for a personality trait. And I don't assign them a theme, really. Juniper's the only one I've ever done that for. Because I like to let my characters build out organically and see where they go through the progressing of the story itself.
We just
So yeah.
Hold on. We just lost stream. All right, I think we're back. We had we had to modify some stuff. We'll see if it keeps working. So, yay. My bit rate has an issue being. So, anyway. Where were you, Nasa?
I mean, I don't know where it cut off on your end.
I got Giant Purple Lady.
Okay. So all I was saying was that Juniper is the only character I've ever built from a theme first. and I specifically built her as much Fey inspired and wild magic chaos as possible. So her entire theme is just fairy this, fairy that, and everything is flowers and pastel colors. That's her whole shtick. But she's the only character I've ever built from a theme first like that. Most of my other characters are concept based first, and then if they end up developing like a theme or an aesthetic throughout, then I let them have it. But I like my characters to develop organically, and so I generally start from a concept like what Spencer said for Triss, where you have an idea of personality or an idea of circumstance, and then you build the character from that, and that's what I tend to do. So
I'll be honest, I'm kind of going to echo what all y'all are saying. I kind of do the same thing. I get a concept like coffee lock. Okay, let's give this a shot. And then there's a theme. Everybody else seems to be dumping points into ability scores and stats, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pick feats, and I'm going to develop this character in a way to where they're not min-maxed. I'm not going to lie, the game that I play on Tuesdays in Pathfinder, I made Probs the Gob. His whole shtick is he is basically Stitch. He is a terrible little raccoon style goblin that can, because he's an iron gut, he can eat anything and not get sick. And so he's just weird. And that his whole shtick is going to be going down that line of what is wrong with you? I haven't had my shots. That's what they tell me. So it's one of those, like, I get a concept and then very quickly I come up with a theme or an idea of how I want the character to continually develop. Next one. And this one's going to be a little telling for everybody. Have you stolen a character concept that you read about and decided, I want a D&D character, I want a Pathfinder, I want an RPG character? That is that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so you explain first, my lovely wife.
I mean, trying to think of a specific one.
Okay, let me help out with this just a little bit. Has anybody tried to make their own Dristo Arden?
No.
I haven't made Driss.
no.
Good. Because then the power of friendship has to be factored into the game. No, go and read any of the Driss series. Power of Friendship. It is a freaking Shonen Jump style
I know.
storyline.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I'm on Spine of the World. That's like book 8 or some shit. I've listened to the prequel books. Every time. The great friends succeeded because of their love for each other. Like, god damn it, Salvatore, I get it. They're friends. I get it, they're friends. Also,
all of his kids were
Friendship.
just watching My Little Pony in the background all the time, and it kept
Nah,
moving in.
that's some Yu-Gi-Oh shit.
I'm also going to tell you, you don't have to mention to me for the 8th time, Salvatore, that Driss doesn't weigh as much as Cadibri. I don't. She was raised by dwarves living in the fucking cold. He is a drow warrior.
She's thick.
We understand drow warriors skinny. Damn it.
Yeah, she's thick.
Not as thick as the Thumberchard.
Chunk
All
Dragon.
right, if nobody else is gonna jump in here, the one character concept that I found on like one of those like Facebook lists or Tumblr runs or whatever, the concept was, instead of a horny bard, a paladin whose goddess is a fertility goddess. And it's also the only character concept that I feel like I failed creating. Mainly because the Earth Genasi paladin that I built, while he was a noxious flirt, was also a Chad boy narcissist. and was a toxic ass character. When I put him all together, I hated playing him. So it's the only character concept that I've stolen and that also failed. So maybe it was karma, maybe not. I don't know. But he was
I
the
mean,
horny paladin.
that for me, that especially, well, I would say that for the first type of character that I had basically wanted to play as, because I had honestly thought that the monk of the four elements was going to be like Avatar, so I basically made my first character be like a pseudo Aang in a sense, but it didn't really pan out the way I thought it would be. But more so that I basically steal concepts and stuff from for just my NPCs. You
So,
know, for just everybody's favorite fortune teller gnome up in that the little hamlet of just Oda Wecken. She is based off of Shirley, the Chihuahua from Courage the Cowardly Dog. And she has a pink familiar named Valor, which is basically another name for courage. So I just, and then she also plays the alto sax. So I straight up stole that for an NPC.
somebody is firing off big ass fucking
I'm like,
fireworks.
what are they firing off out
This
there?
is one street over behind us, and it is.
No, this is next door.
Wait, this is.
Yeah.
Wait, these are the folks next door. It sounds like it's coming from back behind the house. These are our next
This
door
is like
neighbors.
no, this is like one of our next door neighbors, dear. I can someone just stop their car in the middle of the street to look.
Fucking Christ.
It sure sounds like it from where I'm sitting.
Anyway, I'm not gonna lie. I straight up my very first D&D character back in second edition was Ryu from Street Fighter. I just made Ryu from Street Fighter as a half elven monk because half elves, had some resistances to falling asleep. So that the very first time I played, I based a character off of that. And there was a very short-lived D&D or very short-lived Dragon Ball Z um, RPG back in the 90s. If you find it, don't play it. It is dumb. I made Goliath from gargoyles.
What?
You can get
Oh,
wings to fly in that old
my
game.
heart.
Why would you need wings in Dragon Ball?
Because you had the option to have wings to fly, or you could spend way more points to actually be able to key fly. So you only got so many points to build a character. So I had one big energy attack, a bunch of pew pews that everybody automatically gets, and then I had wings so I could fly. The mechanics of battle were worse than anything else I've ever played. I have not played GURPS yet. I have not played GURPS yet, so or I haven't played GURPS since college, so it's kind of hard to remember exactly what it was. But yeah, so when I was first starting to play, I played characters that were just knockoffs of things I liked on TV. Now the next one, Spence kind of leaned into this one. Which NPC that you have created is a straight knockoff of something, and tell me what it is.
Mm,
I'm trying to think of another one.
Because everyone that's in the chat has run at least one game.
I know what everyone thinks one of my NPCs is.
Well, I'm saying, like, do you have an NPC that is 100% like just I guess you could say an ode to or a copy of some, like, I'm not gonna lie, I've had Rincewind the Wizard from Discworld appear in my games.
That I have one. Yeah.
I know you guys could say that my one professor was basically Snape, which yes but no.
That was totally
That
Snape.
Maybe I just want you to think that.
Hello, Joestar.
Snape.
I see
Snape.
that you're late for class
Severus
once
Snape.
more.
Snape.
Dumbledore!
Severus Snape.
so So that up in that the town of Dulasol that there is a little black kinku bird by the name of Little Sparkle. I straight up stole this character concept from a familiar from that one of the first D&D podcasts that I listened to that had got me into the hobby called Critical Hit. That this was a fourth edition rogue that had like all of these ambush attacks, and it would basically do like massive amounts of damage and stuff. And that the player she would play this Kinku by the name of Little Sparkle. So I just straight up just stole that and used it in my world.
I can honestly say that I don't think any of my NPCs are ripped from anything in particular. Like, honestly, most of my NPCs are creatures of my own headspace. I'm racking my brain, and I
Like I
can't
know
think of any of them that.
I know a lot of mine are inspired by different things. Like when we were playing Glitter Hearts, the I can't remember my own character, the woman who's in charge of sending y'all out on the mission. She's kind of like just that overseeing character, like almost Zordon type, but she was like a lot of things mixed into one.
There is another game I play in though that the DM has a recurring NPC Zathras, who he describes as like an orcish type of individual, but every time we see Zathras, it might be a different Zathras. Because apparently Zathras is ripped from, oh god, I'm gonna have to go look this up now. Because I know he's mentioned this a few different times. From the from Babylon 5. Um, and in his game, Zathras functions as like an errand boy for uh Tasha, the Archfey. Um, but yeah, so it's either one Zathras or multiple Zathras, but it's straight ripped from Babylon 5. Like he even pulled like Zathras like character portrait from the wiki to show us. Um, so yeah, that's the only one I can know off the top of my head.
Not gonna lie, I've stolen a lot of. I shouldn't say stolen. I have tactfully acquired a lot of NPC photos, and for the game that hasn't been play or shown, the games with Dresden, all the tokens are just celebrity pictures, so I don't have to describe so that one of the cops looks like Idris Elba. I just don't want to have to say constantly he looks like Idris Elba. So here's an image of Idris Elba.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right, next question. Which 1990s show has had the most influence on how you run a game or what you pull from when you start creating a story?
God, I don't know if I've run enough games to answer that.
1990s.
I will go ahead and I will throw one out uh, that has worked for me, and this is going to lead into a later question. Is Xena Warrior Princess? I
Good
have
one. Good one.
the concept of a episodic style D&D session. Um, very
Mm-hmm.
much for especially like the early running of Holy Winds. I have used that for influence and concept. Also, if I describe a female barbarian, there is a 90% chance it is just Lucy Lawless. So, yeah.
I mean, when I run a couple games, it feels like sometimes I'm running just a bunch of Ed and Eddies.
Double D cast
um.
Fireball.
No.
Well, according to my no,
um.
that's not even the voice for Double D. Good God.
Mine. Mine, I'd have to say, would be Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which technically still 90s, last 3 years of the 90s, um, but specifically in terms of unique twists that on rewatch you can see all the little bits and pieces that get laid up ahead of time so that it makes it happen. And also just the concept that heroes don't always have good days. Specifically thinking about season 5, where Buffy's mom's dead. She's having to fight for custody of her little sister who's not even human, and everything's just going to shit. And that's one of the best seasons of any show ever is Buffy season 5.
See, is Buffy season 5 where the was it the werewolf kid learns that NFTs aren't actually a viable way to make money?
Very funny. Don't make fun of Seth Green.
He kind of deserves it in that situation.
But the answer is also no.
Oh, concepts. Oh my God, that 90s. I'm trying to think that because I do not want to say the god awful Zelda cartoon. It was so good, it was bad. God.
Oh god, the newest meme, Zelda Link, it's smooching time.
But if I had to do a safe answer, I would have to say that it is a mix between Power Rangers and Scooby Doo. Because I do offer a bit of a sense of like mystery and such, and then that to almost all of my games, and then that it is pretty much just like that the threat of the week or else of that the session that y'all got to deal with.
And vouch, that's what he does.
I think for M, I think the answer would be Sailor Moon.
I mean, Glitter Hearts definitely.
Well, the whole aesthetic of Glitter Hearts is Sailor Moon's. That's like or Utena. So, next one. What video game specifically has had the most influence on how you add mechanics or do something in a game, or how you run your character?
Dragon Age. Just Dragon Age.
Final Fantasy and Dark Souls and Zelda.
Spence over here violating all the rules.
What do you? I mean that I got. I mean that you know that if I gotta pick one, it will have to be Final Fantasy. That's my one.
I don't feel that I can honestly answer this question because I haven't done a lot of I haven't gotten enough knowledge about any one game in particular to start taking mechanics or ideas for items or anything. I'll have to take a pass on this question. I honestly can't think of a good answer or any answer.
Oh, M stole mine with Dragon Age, and the reason I'll say Dragon Age is if you play through it, the mechanics function on increasing your stats and getting feats, so that's very familiar.
It's very close to Neverwinter Nights with especially in Origins, which is based on 3.5.
But the way your character progresses and interacts, it functions very well. But also, I like to have there's some episodic random bull crap, and you have those side missions in a game like Dragon Age. And then there is, hey, you remember that really big ass thing you were supposed to do? Yeah,
that's still a problem.
That's still going on right now. Like, you running all over the place. We don't know how, like, you haven't run into the dark spawn 85 billion times, but like it's here. Like, somehow they made it to the capital city, and you've ran past them like 8 times. We don't know how you did it. They don't know how you did it. But so there's some elements like that I really like. Also, especially well, and it's true in the whole Dragon Age series, is that you have some very, very good characters and you have some very good NPCs. That is why Varric has been in 2 games. Women thirsty for that little dwarf who has the
I
best line.
mean,
He has
I
one.
just want him to be my friend.
I mean,
He
you know,
has. So go ahead,
go on.
Spence.
No, go ahead.
I was
You have
gonna
a thought?
say. He has one of the best lines. Oh, anytime anyone asks me why I don't have a beard, I go, yes, I do. It's just a couple inches lower. And he puts his hand on his hairy chest because he wears his shirt open up like to the sternum. And I'm like, Varric, why do I love you so much? This line right here is why I fucking love you so much. This is
This is
wonderful.
why Varric, Dorian, and Iron Bull are the best party to take with you if you want Sass and Snark the entire fucking game.
You can switch one of them out for Vivian though.
I
If
don't
you
like Vivian.
Oh no. Vivian and Varric with Iron Bull gets pretty funny. Them with
It's better than Sarah.
what'd you say?
It's better than Sarah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's people who really love that character.
And back on topic.
Yeah, back on topic. So,
I mean that for me with Final Fantasy, that those that who have been in my games, that they are quasi political, you know, secret factions, you know, double talk NPCs, and then that the party falling for obvious dumb traps like that the old broken wagon in the middle of the road
Hey.
ploy.
Hey.
Everybody has fallen for that trap. Everybody falls for it.
well, here's the deal.
Characters does, but players know what is up.
Yeah, it's one of those. This wagon's on the side of the road. Hewitt looks at character sheet. Intelligence 10. Looks up and sees the intelligence 8 bard already running over that way. Sighs in character and goes, I guess we're helping.
But and then it is also about that the act structure too that I try to basically use for some of the for basically like some of the redacted I can't say or anything. It is just basically more so that the power scale is insane like that. You know that I throw out custom spells and stuff that just may as well just be a character's limit break or something, and it's like, Spence, is this legal? Uh-huh. It's legal. Survive.
That's for our later section of Is This Allowed? Hold on to that.
No, I got a list of questions. I have scoured the internet for that. I will say, Spence, your games definitely show the signs of having that JRPG. Oh no!
Whee! Oh no, it's not that bad. Get back up on there, Percy. You can do this. Goldfish.
How did my mic get muted? I might have been muted for the last while. Nope.
You haven't.
You
No,
haven't been
we
muted.
were listening to you.
Oh, on the podcast. I mean, on the actual like
Oh,
OBS. Like I don't
Oh no.
like, or it might Percy might have done it. Percy might have done it. I don't know. We'll find out. But no, it's one of those of Spence with the.
Percy wanted you to shut up.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this because like y'all were not muted when I started streaming us again. So we might have all sorts of technical difficulties that I have to add text to. That's
We're
great.
so sorry.
It
We're so
happens.
sorry.
It's technology has been a bane tonight, but no, like the lore dump from random characters is like, huh? Either you're really helpful, random 16-bit kid at the edge of the village, or you are Stefan Carcass.
Right.
Just
So,
right.
let's see. Last one coming from the Inspos, then I'm going to go into some random questions. Have you, when coming up with a game, had a moment from a book inspire the setup for what you hope that scene will be? Like, there is something that happened in a book, and then you wanted to make sure, like, that's going to be your penultimate fight, or that's going to be your climax fight, is something so similar to that, or in the same tone as that.
Yes.
Explain.
It's sort of book / movie, because in the first Harry Potter, when they accidentally come across Fluffy, the 3-headed dog, for the first time, and it raises up with all 3 of its heads and looks at them, and there's a pause, and then there's a ah! That is what
Yep.
I was
Yep.
hoping for a little bit with my Beholder Spider in my game for Extra Life. And then Hewitt threw a fucking building at it.
I freaked out, and I there was a spider, and I threw a house at it. I'm sorry. That's my reaction. It's like, no.
But houses only work for witches with striped stockings.
It did a pretty good
Yeah.
number on the
Unfortunately,
spider.
this did a pretty good job because it pretty much wedged it against the wall. Because it wasn't just a house; it was a damn tower.
Yes, my joke.
I made the mistake of telling people what they could have as items. That was my bad.
Yeah, the JoJo joke character I made for that game pokeballed the spider
I
into a
did
wall.
not think he could use that usefully, so I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I should have known better.
We
Oh,
live, we learn, we move on.
Gotta love country roads.
that for a shop game that I basically have ran up in just interim of like our normal games, that I ran a Monster of the week that was basically the plot of Carrie, but basically with a twist. It had basically had like a family cursed charm sort of dealio thing, and in that they were basically like responsible for trying to basically get this charm back, to like this bloodline, because that if that they didn't, then that that the person's bloodline that was like related to said charm would turn up into like demon carry mode. So basically, that I had to put them at Centenary College, because why not? And basically, that I had decided to pull a carry on them at that the ultimate fight to where then that the it was like a school formal dance or something. Then that all of the doors locked, and then that the chick had went on like killer rage carry on them with just a fire and stuff. But that they survived barely, but they survived.
um Mine uh is the the final fight scene in the throne room in the 4th book of Christopher Paolini's Inheritance Cycle, where the protagonist is trying to find a way to defeat the Mad King Galbatorix, and is basically so outmatched and so overpowered that he can't. Like, he literally can't. And so he ends up, like, in a real Hail Mary play, he casts a single spell to force the king to feel the consequences of everything he's done in his, like, century of life. Every pain he's ever caused, all the deaths of the soldiers that he sent to their demise, everyone he's ever ordered thrown in prison, Literally the extinction of almost an entire race, forced the king to feel all of that. Literally just empathy as the grand finale final blow. That is, it's not really a setup to a particular scene, or a moment, any single moment in my games, but that moment from the book is the reason why I built the Tears of Kairos like arc the way I did, to where this imbalance has to be fixed, and you can't do that if you don't feel what's wrong with it. And empathy being the key, the crux upon which everything twists. That so that.
Cool. Mine is mostly in the Dresden series, the Dresden Fate game I ran for a very long time. There's a lot that I pick up from the books, like causing them to deal with a Dark Hallow. Or, hey, there's this big spell you did and you have no clue how you did it. And have part of a subplot of a game is them finding out how they actually did it. And I know that one of the players was so frustrated with me for a very long time. Like, we did this really cool spell, this really epic spell, this really big spell. How did we do it and we don't know it? You don't. You just don't. And then the reveal was so great. It made me feel some of the moments in like when I've listened to the books, read by the wonderful James Marsters. So
Bow down, bow down.
there's that. Now, some goofy questions before we move into is that even allowed? So, first one I'm going to ask you, if you were designing a femme fatale, or just a female character that is to catch the eye of one of the players, or a male character, okay, or non-binary, but a character that is supposed to draw their attention, is supposed to be this, like, everybody's going to notice. Who's the first individual you think of for the basis physically of that character?
In general, Natasha Romanoff. You, Tifa Lockhart.
Actually, I have my own answer. I'll give it here in a minute.
Normally, my men NPCs, I cycle either between Baywatch David Hasselhoff or else that the Fabio dude from like the butter commercials. Females gotta be Kate Beckinsale.
I'll be the thirst and say Jessica Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
That's a good one.
Like, all I have to say is Jessica Rabbit and the image is there.
Yep.
But what's really fun is you can then turn her into anything else, like put her in leather instead of red sequins, suddenly she's a rogue. Anyway, sorry. Done.
If it's guys, I will throw out something. I will just say Tom Hiddleston-esque or Hiddle-esque.
How dare you?
But if it's actually, if I, huh?
It's shit.
But if I'm talking about a female character, I will generally lean more into Elvira or Lucy Lawless.
Okay.
And then Emily says, Tifa, so yeah, I have a type, but usually if you say appears like Elvira, multiple people at the table gets the attention. However, I can't use that one as much anymore because like there's an age category that knows Elvira.
We're kind of aging out of the Elvira moment. Yeah. Sadly.
I'm gonna be sad when that
Goth
happens.
Dolly Parton, though.
Look, I just want a movie
Just
with
say
Elvira.
Goth Dolly Parton.
I just want Dolly Parton and Elvira to be two witches that have reunited because of the death of their mother. and now they have to make things right, and they are the yin and yang.
Hocus
Wait,
Pocus 3,
the
anyone?
heck?
Let's
That
get
this
Bette Midler in there
exists?
too.
No, it
This
needs to exist.
Does it? Wait.
I just Googled it.
No.
It exists.
What now?
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Elvira and Dolly Parton and
Better
something
spill.
together?
Oh, no, Goth Dolly Parton. I'm like, let me Google this.
Okay.
Well, drop that in Discord for us all to for all of us to acknowledge later. See, the next one. Have you ever willingly gave the party a familiar knowing you're going to kill the son of a bitch?
Oh no.
I know you let it happen.
I won't lie. I have 100% allowed the party to get a familiar just to kill it.
I don't make familiars because I know you. That's why I haven't take the whole you can have a little familiar thing in the exposition game because I know what you're gonna do.
Look, I was really bad about that in Exalted because that made action economy so much longer.
I personally don't care about familiars.
I have to confess, Zorina, I fully had plans to murk her at some point, but then I chickened out, and I couldn't find a way to do it that I didn't feel like Spencer would hate me. So, yes, my answer is yes, I have willingly given a familiar and knowingly planned to kill it, but I did not follow through on the plans to kill it. So,
I mean, that could have been a dodge choice, and then I would have been like, you just lose it forever.
I but I loved the doggo myself too much, and I couldn't bring myself to do it. I shot myself in the own damn foot. So,
I like how
but
everybody's
anyway.
talking about this, but we forget the best familiar in that game.
That I have given players familiars,
Nice.
but I haven't been just able to like make them kill them in a sense.
I have given parties NPCs and familiars that they fell in love with just to have the bad guy destroy them to make them hate the bad guy more.
We almost lost Greg.
I mean, that y'all do have a mascot at the shop game, Luna.
Yeah, but we're hardly ever at the at Benevolence's house anymore to play with Luna, so
Yeah,
it doesn't feel as essential to our like emotional well-being at this point.
right.
All right. Now we're going to do something new.
I do love her. I love her style though. Sorry.
No. So for the folks watching, we are about to attempt something new. It is something we were going to do as a separate podcast, and just schedules haven't happened. So if we keep doing it like this, I can clip it out and put it out there. So what this is it's called Is That Allowed? So we have we have one where we asked a couple questions. I'm going to pick one question, and we're going to give our knee-jerk reaction to it at first, and then we're going to discuss it slightly. So, here's the question. Is this allowed at the table? Bonus damage to Vicious Mockery based on really good burns.
Yes.
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 Absolutely.
So, we're all in agreement here. I'm going to say this. If a player comes up with a sick burn, like actually drops it, not like goes through a cycle of dad jokes, doesn't go through like a cycle of old jokes. I'm going to say like legitimately has a good like cutting remark that makes like the whole table go damn. I would allow crit damage on it. But you know, at lower levels, that's not that bad. But
I mean, that it is a great, fantastic idea. I mean, that like that, just like this last session, that Nasa's character was throwing some sick burns to like an NPC. Then I'm just like stuck there, and then I'm like, I want to praise you, but the NPC is also wants to knock you out. So if this was used in
I was
battle, I think
ragging
that
on
you
a
would have
mare
killed
so
her.
hard. The problem is that bard, I don't even have her built with vicious mockery as a mechanic. That's not her. She was really pissed off, and she wanted to make her point. That's
That
all.
you are playing my role of characters up in Monster of the Week. Just be that the sassy, just mean type. But
um,
yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
I if I ever actually had a player throw in vicious mockery and they had a super sick burn, I wouldn't tell them that I was giving them extra like damage because I'd want it to be I'd want to do something as far as rather than just extra damage, I would want to do something flavor wise. Like I'd consider that enemy like stunned or incapacitated for a round without actually telling them that mechanically that's what I was doing. Um, but it's been so long since I've had a player in any of my games that was actually playing a bard, aside from Jed as multi-classed, that I haven't had a chance to actually like nail down the exact like flavor and mechanic that I want to do for that. But that's always been something that I felt needed boosting was vicious mockery for sure, and not just because I'm a bard main.
Did you have anything else on this one, Em?
No.
See, the reason I would make it more public is that I want to encourage that more. But at the same time, if they started just dropping sick burn after sick burn, do I still get the crit? No, you drop so many sick burns that now people just have ointment ready.
Well,
But
it also feels like if you, I feel like if I tell them because that was such a sick burn XYZ, it kind of it would start to feel too forced. Like I don't want
I'm
I
saying
want those
that's what
kinds
I'm
of
saying
things
is
to be spontaneous. So
if they
yeah.
did keep forcing, I'd be like, okay, this isn't as good. Like when you drop like if all of a sudden it's like I got a whole list of them, but like all of a sudden like you make something about the like like the dragon sitting there, I am blah 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 blah, the greatest dragon of them. I'm just like Dragon D's nuts. I'd be like, okay, that's not great. That's not great. But if like they came up with something witty, I'd be like, you may have critical damage on this. That was great. Now factor in if it was a noble, I might add stunned because they're probably not used to being talked to that way. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now everybody grab your D20 because we're gonna do insight check.
Nice. Good. God, dang it. Get out. Oh, there we go.
Da-na, da-na.
Don't break
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
dice.
Break the glass.
Okay.
I rolled crap on this one.
All right, Emily, would you roll?
5.
Nasa,
9.
Oh, I got a 10.
I rolled a 14
Yeah, see.
God dang it.
Aw,
Oh, well.
damn it! Do it! How do you keep doing this?
because the one I rolled my dice for Phil.
That's right.
Yeah, alright, fair.
All right, so the first one I'm gonna ask y'all is this, or I'm gonna put this out there and tell me if it's bullshit or not. During World War One, Americans carried a weapon that the Kaiser's German forces found so dangerous that they threatened to
You're coming in and out.
Am I cutting in and out?
Mm-hmm.
Am I coming through better now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. During World War One, American soldiers had a weapon considered so dangerous by the German forces that they would be executed on sight if they were found with it.
I believe it.
Hmm.
Uh,
I feel like in the back of my head, I feel like I've heard this before, but it was at least 15 years ago, and I can't remember.
I want to say that
I'm gonna call it truth.
that I am going to be Asmodeus's advocate here and go false because I believe that this may have been World War II instead.
No, it's World War One. It's accurate. It's the shotgun.
Oh,
Because shotguns loaded with 18 ball bearings instead of a regular load being used as a trench clearer. So when American soldiers showed up, they used shotguns to when they dropped into trenches. And so it was so devastating that it was like, no, this is a violation of like conventions and stuff. It doesn't necessarily kill; it causes excessive injuries. And then America goes, cool. If you're going to bring us on trial for this, we're going to do it for flamethrowers. And everything was dropped.
so that is the reason why shotguns are OP up in every single shooting game.
As long as you're
And
with,
also why we don't allow sawed off.
yeah, it's they also were able to attach bayonets to these shotguns. I don't think they were super useful.
What? Why?
They had to have a special
If
mount.
you can get close enough to somebody wielding a shotgun, if you can get close to somebody wielding a double barrel shotgun loaded with 18 gauge
With a
steel,
bayonet? That's
you
overkill.
deserve to get a bayonet in the gut, though. Like, come on.
All right, the next one I'm going to give you all is this one, and it's I like kind of going with this. I'm going to bookmark this. Phrases. The origins of a phrase. Yes, bookmark it there. So here's the deal. The phrase "bags of mystery" referred to meals served in the British military in the late 1800s.
That's not what comes to mind when I hear that phrase.
Bags of mystery.
Bags of mystery. I'm not saying it's true.
I'm going false.
I'll also say false. I feel like it's a lot dirtier than just brown bag of lunch meat.
It is not dirty. It's actually half true, half false. Because you could find bags of mystery in meals served to soldiers in the late 1800s occasionally, because bags of mystery are sausages.
I thought it was about boobs.
Oh, I thought it was boobs.
So that is where the term
I feel like Ev and I
bag
are on the
of
same
that
wavelength.
come
I
from. Oh my
mean-
god. Okay.
It sounds like something that would have been used in a book around that time to get away with,
Yeah.
not saying breasts.
The heaving bags of mystery contained within her blouse.
Listen. I follow Atomic Apple Pie on fucking TikTok. Anyone should go follow her because she's amazing and hilarious. And her whole shtick, besides telling stories about her hilarious father, are that she reads passages from smutty books, and they are so much worse than that. The amount of food, the amount of time people use food is disturbing.
Yeah. It's one of those of every time I listen to Dresden Files, and it's like the hot tips of her breasts. I'm like,
Why are they hot?
If they have tips, they're not. Are they? Is it an automaton? Is it metal? Because there shouldn't be tips to that.
however, I will say my favorite description for a character has come out also in Guards that I'm currently listening to from Terry Pratchett. Captain Vimes had the appearance of several bad habits wrapped up in a drinking problem. That is the only physical description of this man so far in the book. And I'm like, I know people who are this way. Anyway, so that has been this roundtable full of technical difficulties. I got to figure out what the heck's going on with my internet because we had like
It's
three
the
good.
firework.
The fireworks that they're shooting the internet with fireworks. It could be heat. It could be.
Percy sabotaged you.
Yeah, I hope there's not a lot of lost up audio. Let's see. Tomorrow we'll be back with Holy Winds. I think we're going to be back with Redwell on Wednesday. We will not have the exposition this week because we will have Nasa out of town, and then we will be back next Sunday with Kitchen Table. So I think that's everything we got going on. Currently, we are figuring out our new charity. I think we're going to lean into something that helps with children's literacy. So when we know more about that, I will let everybody on the internet know.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll turn over to my wife for our socials.
Well, we appreciate anyone who tuned in tonight. Sorry for all the technical difficulties, but you will be able to listen to this later on our YouTube channel where we are Team Bonus Action. And you can listen to all of our previous games and podcasts and such. We are on Facebook as Team Bonus Action, and we are also on Twitter, as useless as it is right now. Way to go, Elon! At @bonus_team. If you haven't run out of the amount of tweets you can read in a day, go check us out. And we are also at teambonusaction.com.
You can also join us on our Discord that can be
Yes,
found underneath the
Discord.
video.
Team Bonus Action Discord. Join it.
All right. Hey, and guys, since Knox is not here,
Oh, Lord.
Don't
don't let you meet low.
Ah,
Ah.
that was bad.
I didn't even try because
I
I know I've got
tried
way
to
too much of a
wait
delay
for
right
him.
now.
Thank you for tuning in to another Bonus Roundtable podcast brought to you by Team Bonus Action. If you'd like to find more out about us, you can go to our website at teambonusaction.com, or you can check us out on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube as Team Bonus Action, or on Twitter at bonus_team. And since Knox is not here, don't let your meatloaf.